Oh, hello, hello. This is Johnny Play, and we're back for some more action. Well, actually, no, not action today. We're just going to do a cheeky little tier list. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to go through some of the best trainers in Ultra Moon, including the post game of it. I'm going to exclude the red and blue fight. I'm just going the Rainbow Rocket and Melee 4 since that's usually the races I do. So I do sort of like this teams race where I take teams from previous generations and see if they can beat Gen 7. And the Ultra games is good sort of tests of that because these teams were not meant to compete against it. But anyway, if you've ever watched any of my team runs, as you can see here, hey, you can see my lovely face. And yes, you can see I've done a whole bunch of teams, from Diantha all the way down to Silver, 34 teams, including two others that didn't beat the Elite Four. The Professor Oak one was kind of a fun one to do. Unfortunately, losing to Olivia. And then I've also done a separate Team Rainbow Rocket section with 32 making it and two, Bruno class type trainers not making it. But yes, so we're just going to go through just a tier list and see how it all sort of goes. All right, we got the tier list up, and I started already. So yeah, just got all the teams, from the last rival fight to Giovanni. So if I just put them in sort of like an order, of how I'll go. Unfortunately, the way the system went, so put them in. All right, that makes a lot more sense. Oh yeah, I was saying was over here. All right, so that sort of makes sense. So this is your you normally fight them with the choices between these two in either side and these two in either side. But yes, so let's start with the rival. So the rival, let's just check out his team. Just give me 1 second. All right, as we can see here, this is the rival's team that he has that I constantly fight. The grasp memory is kind of because of the team I've chosen. I've just left it. I feel like it's the best one. I mean, you could argue water or fire. Honestly, I don't think it makes that much of a difference because all it changes is the type here defensively and the offense. And yeah, I know grass is not that great, but if you look at the whole team, it kind of balances it out. And so that's why all my races have got the grass one. But anyway, if you look at, Crobat's a pretty fast one. Focus can't be flinch. And so it's always going to do some sort of damage. So unless you've got a good rock type or electric type, it can cause a bit of issue, or even psychic. Although the outspeeds Alakazam, so that's been an issue to deal with this sort of Crobat. Zoroark can be really annoying with this ability illusion, and so it could pretend to be like a Lucario or a Sylvia comes out, or even a Crobat, to be honest. If it switches out, which sometimes it does. So yeah, it can be a bit annoying, especially for psychic types or ghost types if he gets off his Z move. Sylvia, he's not usually been as much of a problem as the others, but again, like you can finish off a lot of opponents like X Scissor, Crunch, and Multi Attack. Lucario or Aurora Spear is probably the best part about him. A Metal Claw's okay, but yeah, if you're weak to fighting type moves and you're not especially defensive, it can be an issue. So where would I put him? Need to think about it. Now, with I didn't really explain these. Can cause runs to be over, often cause resets, need to think about it. Okay, should never be a problem. Now, maybe I'll put him in the okay See, I almost never had a problem because he's only a team of 4, right? Yeah, he's got some good Pokemon, but I've never really had to think about that hard. You know, I often think about if I've got a terrible team, but very rarely. You know, yeah. So I'm going to put him in the okay tier. I don't think it's too much of a problem, but it can be for certain teams, especially with Zoroark. Um, mm, yeah. I'm happy with that. All right, well, let's go to the Elite Four. Let's start with Moraine. Now, he's a bit of an annoying one. It's all because of Clef Key. Loves to do Fungal Wave, Prankster. It gets to go first, unless you got a Dark type Pokemon or some other ability that stops it. But otherwise, almost always gets that Fungal Wave, Spikes, or Reflect up. Gets one of those things up and it's super annoying to deal with. Especially if it gets a Fungal Wave, paralyzes your Pokemon, means it's going to be slower than most of the rest of the team. Reflect can be irritating, especially if you take it out and the next one comes out as Metagross and all you guys' physical moves. Flash Cannon's okay. Metagross, that's a really tough one. You know, it's got good movesets, you know, Meteor Mash, Zen Headbutt, Hammer Arm, hard Pokemon to kill. The God Trio is super fast, so again, you can't really stop it from doing its moves unless you're got an equally fast Pokemon, maybe a water type or a fighting type or, you know, a ground type. Maybe you got a God Trio of your own. You can often then defeat it, but as long as you haven't been like paralyzed before. Bisharp hasn't really been an issue for me, honestly, in the past. Magazone often finishes off the opponent if you're almost dead, comes out and it's like, well, screw you, you're not going to one-shot it. So yeah. I've had some issues with this guy in the past, Moraine. So I'm going to place him in the need to think about it. I've never not gone into battle without thinking about him beforehand. Sometimes I'll leave him last. Has it caused a lot of resets? For some it has, but not particularly. You know, anyway, let's go to the next one, which is actually Olivia. I'll just move her and we'll get back to wrong one. Olivia, that's Sun Moon. All right, this is a good one. Now, if you're weak to rocks, she can be a real problem. If you're not really weak to rocks, she's okay. In a lot of ways, Amalgo is pretty hard to kill because rock and bug's actually kind of a cool typing, to be honest. It's only weak to water, rocks itself, and I think that's about it, honestly. It resists a lot of types. You know, like it's neutral. Like bug is a really good combo with rock. You know, it neutralizes ground weakness of rock. Rock neutralizes the fire weakness of bug. Yeah, so and then, you know, bug also neutralizes the grass weakness of it. So yeah, you know, Margo, it's an okay Pokemon. Hits really hard with X-Scissor or Rock Blast. Otherwise, you can get through it. The problem comes from the next 4 Pokemon. Ski, you can't one-shot it, even with Earthquake. It might be able to get a Fungal Wave off, thus paralysing you for the rest of, you know, Battle or Sandstorm, which can be annoying to deal with because now all of a sudden all rocks get a special defense in Gen 7 upgrade and you're getting chipped by a Sandstorm. Earth powered gem if you're weak to it. Lucario, he can finish you off with that rock ZM. So it has happened in the past sometimes where it just uses rock ZM, kills one of the Pokemon, a counter. If you've seen the last video, you'll know counter has been a factor. not usually a factor, and crunch for all the psychic types. Super fast, pretty high attack. Gigalith gets the sandstorm up immediately. Annoying. Doesn't really do too much damage, just hard to kill. Can waste a lot of time in the chipping. If you're already down a couple Pokemon afterwards, can finish you off. And then Cragilly will be the last, normally. But Professor Oak actually lost against her. Just couldn't do anything to it. Yeah, he has a crappy team, but he managed to beat 3 out of the 4 Elite 4 members, losing to Olivia. So where do we place Olivia? I think it's going to be in the same category, but I think it's going to be behind Moraine. I don't think she's as good as Moraine in a lot of ways, but still traveling. Alright, well, the next one we're going to go is the Ghost type trainer. And we're going with the Ultra Sun team and Ultra Moon. Now, she's pretty interesting. I've not had any trouble beating her with most teams, bar one team, which was the, did not win, which was, no, that was Killy. Okay, no, I'm wrong. I have actually been there with every team so far. Now, Ghost is an interesting type, right? It's very much, not resisted by me types other than Dark and, immune to normal. But in saying that, it's not very super effective to me types either. It's like Ghost and Psychic. And so it's not really a massive problem. And most types can hit Ghost as long as it's not normal type moves or fighting type moves. I've not really had too much of an issue. Frostlass can be annoying, super fast, can do Confuse Ray, Shadow Ball, or Blizzard to finish you off. Bayonet is really high attack, so you don't, but it's very weak, so you can often one-shot, outspeed it and one-shot it. Grass type does okay. Pretty tanky. Has a weird ability that if you hit it with water types, which is super effective against it, by the way, its defense goes up, and the Gladion can do really well. Driploom, absolutely useless. I have never lost to Driploom, although it's wasted a lot of time with Amnesia and drag the battle out. And Omnibus Win, it's only got like 5 PP, I'm pretty sure. So once it runs, and often she sends out last, which is bizarre to me. She sends out seconded Amnesia, Baton Pass into something like here. That would, but she just never does. She never does it, so you can't even use that as a strategy. Often it's the last Pokemon comes out, and then it's never going to use Baton Pass. It's going to go, what, Focus Energy, Amnesia, and Omnibus Win. And once it runs out of Omnibus Wins, you're literally just chipping away at her. She's wasting time with Full Score and Aftermath. Yeah, so if you can get to this with relatively okay health, especially if you got a normal type Pokemon, she's done for at that point. Well, as long as the normal type Pokemon can hit her. But yeah, so if we go back to it, where would we place it? Should almost never be a problem. It sounds bizarre considering like she's got 5 and he's only got 4. But I'm surprised I've never had trouble. Even the Sabrina run, which was all psychic, I thought, she's going to be my biggest problem. No, he was the biggest problem for the psychic, right? All right, well, let's go Kahili, my favourite woman on this list. I think she's super cute, and I've just picked the Sun team. I kind of actually prefer the Sun team, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Ultra games. Now, Braveberry, really high attack. Sheer Force is a really good ability, and she'll hit you hard with Brave Bird or Crush Claw. air slash, you don't really have the problem there. Sometimes she'll use Scary Face, but the main issue is Brave Bird. So if you don't resist flying types, it can be pretty bad. If you're weak to flying types, it can absolutely destroy you. I've had many teams actually lose against her many times. Because even after you beat Braveberry, what comes out next is either Halusha, Mare Buzz, and sometimes Q-Can. So we'll stick with Halusha next. Flying Press is a weird move. It's like a flying slash flying type move. I'm going to get my head around it, but it does super effective damage against rocks and normal types. And he's super fast. He's like 118 base speed. He almost always gets his moves off. Fuel Chop for dragons. I've seen it use Throat Chop and Poison Jab before. Throat Chop for psychic types. And overall it does a lot of damage before it dies. It's got Mold Breaker as well, which means, it annoys the abilities of the other Pokemon. Mare Buzz doesn't really do too much damage. Super tanky. Can be pretty annoying to deal with. Sometimes what it'll do funnily, it will do Flower to try and get you confused. The Flower boosts up your special attack. And so sometimes I'll have like a Lapras out, uses Flower, I'm like, thank you. And if Lapras doesn't heal itself, now I've got a special attack boost. But yeah, it also likes to do Brave Bird, Bone Rush if it's rock skill types. I've seen Miss do a lot of damage. It's a 2 to 5 attack move. And overall, it's an annoying Pokemon. Usually won't kill you unless you're already weak. Or maybe you keep healing yourself and then it just keeps using Brave Bird. Had that happen before. Toucan, the Flying Z, will use it if it sees it can get a kill. Otherwise, it's going to use the other moves. Obviously, if you're a flying type, it uses Rock Blast. If you're, a ground type, it's going to use Bullet Seed or Water type. But it loves to use Beak Blast. It's kind of almost like a counter move. So it's got priority -1. So it'll put like a burning beak. And then if you're a physical attacker and you hit it, making contact with a move, not all physical moves make contact, you'll get burnt. And then, for a physical attacker, being burnt is one of the worst things, unless you've got guts. So that can be a bit of an issue. If then it uses a Z move, it's going to finish you off. Breach is a weird one. And this Pokemon here, often it's finishing off Pokemon, fire type move. It loves to use Feather against to lower your attacks. If it can finish you off, Air Slash or Revelation Gance. T-Gance if it wants to confuse you. Yeah, she's been an issue, and as you saw in the Heart Gold one, she literally caused a game to lose, which was the Giovanni one. And I often leave her last in a lot of runs. So, it's between her and Mullen, who I leave last. But yes, she'll be the last one before the champion fight. And if I'm running a weak one to find, be a bit of an issue, or maybe Pokemon that don't have super effective moves against her, like the Giovanni fight, as related before, could not beat her because it didn't have a move to be super effective. All right, champion time. Now I've gone for everyone to know. I've gone in Incineroar 1. Now, you could argue, why don't you go Pre-Maria, because, Fairy, Water, blah, blah, blah. I think this is the best team. The Incineroar, partly because it also comes with the Eevee. Leafeon is a vast improvement to Flareon. I'm a Flareon lover, so this hurts me. Super slow. Really good attack. Not much else. It's got good special attack, which it doesn't utilize. You know, it's just quick attack, flare blitz. And then, yeah, Maria is really good with Sparking Aura, Moonblast, Hyper Voice. Problem is super slow and special attacking, which is okay. I think this is a better team. Super fast, Leafeon, and super strong. So Leaf Blade hurts like anything, especially if you're weak to grass. It kind of gives that coverage. And the Zeral's got some good move diversity. Gladion, Earthquake, and Flare Blitz, Fire ZM. I think, anyway, so this is the team I normally verse against. And so this is one I'm going to talk about. Raichu, super fast. You don't have anything that outspeeds it. It's going to get one of the moves off. You know, often if you're weak to Focus Blast, it can do a lot of damage. Thunderbolt, Psychic. I've had trouble. You always have to think about the Raichu right at the start, you know, because often it'll do a lot of damage. And then the next Pokemon comes out afterwards. So let's say you have Dugtrio, next one come out could be Leafeon or Gullible. Tauros is annoying, and Intimidate's such a good ability to have. And he's got good moves as well. Earthquake, Iron Head, then Headbutt, and his best move, Double Edge. So he's got move diversity, and he's fast as well. Like, this whole team's fast except for these two. But yeah, so super fast again, you know, 110 speed. And then Northern is, I think, the fastest thing on his team, actually. Infiltrator's okay. Not really that greater than Billy. But again, can't one-shot you or up to your Super Fang. Otherwise, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, and Air Slash is, again, covering a lot of weaknesses. He's not really much of an issue. Ice Hammer, Power Up Punch, Stone Edge, Dizzy Punch. Kind of slow. Hits really hard though. So if you don't one-shot or, you know, you allow it to hit super effective move against you, you're going to have a bad time. In Zero, I rarely ever one-shot this Pokemon. It's very tanky. It's going to hit you. And if you're weak to any of these moves, it's going to hit you pretty hard. And especially if you're weak to fire and it gets off a Z move, you can call that Pokemon toast. Even if you resist it, it can be pretty nasty to be hit by it. So where do I place Howl? Where would I place Howl on this list? You know, would I, you know, I'm going to say often causes resets. I've had some runs where, you know, like, let's go to Elite 4. You know, obviously the top 10, 0 resets, but I've had runs, even good runs, right? One reset. It's often because of Howl. You know, Iris. I don't think Howl himself lost to Howl, but, you know, Lusamine, I lost a few times to Howl. Blue was, might have been a mix. Ella was definitely Olivia and Howl. Bugsy was Howl. Bruno was Howl. Olivia was Howl. Phoebe was Howl. Drake was both Howl and Moline. So yes, definitely Howl can be a bit of a problem, and really good move, good team. So yes, that's the end of the first part of it. So now we're getting to Team Rainbow Rocket. Now Fabia. Let's go to him. Right, this is one of the most annoyingest battles in the whole entire game. And partly it's because you get partnered up with Lily. Why is Lily so bad? Well, Lily is only got a Clefairy with Reflect, Screen, Light Screen, Moonblast, and I think Sing. And you're versing, it's a team of 6, but essentially it's free 1 and your 6 Pokemon. So you think, oh, well, maybe it's not so bad. Let me correct you on that one. So these are the 2 Pokemon that starts out with, right, on either side. Then you got Lily with the Clefairy and whatever Pokemon you're going to send out. Well, it starts off with Intimidate. So straight away, if you're a physical attacker, your attack's been lowered. So often what I like to do is hide physical attacker in the back, swap in, so it doesn't get me Intimidate. And then it loves to use Snarl. Now, if you've not heard of Snarl, it is a weak move, but it lowers the special attack of everyone on the field. Sorry, everyone on your side of the field. So often, if you're a special attacker, you're constantly getting it lowered until you either get rid of a Grand Ball, which could bring Scrappy in, who does the exact same thing, right? Or you've just got to ignore it and then hope that it runs out or something. Like, it's got a lot of PP. I think it's 15 or 20. It's very unlikely to run out anytime soon. Right? And then, you got Scrappy and then Synchronock, which is Spore, Dazzling Gleam. Not really that big of a problem, although Spec Spore can be a bit annoying. Fabius one, on the other hand, loves to use X-Defend on this, making it even more tankier. But yes, the moves is okay. Levitate, immune to Earthquake. So if you're going to spam that, you better have Mold Breaker or some similar ability. Or some other move that makes you hit that. Otherwise, Ground Psychic's a good defensive type. Next, he likes to send out Hypnose. Hypnosis can be annoying as anything. If he puts you to sleep, just drag the battle on and on and on. Focus Blast will, well, if you're a skill type, can often be the end of you. And then Dream Eater Psychic. It loves to use Hypnosis Dream Eater. So you can normally play around that, swapping out. But Brillish, oh my goodness. It's got strong attack, then it's got an ability called Strong Draw, which allows Psychic Fang to do even more damage, and Crunch. It'll often absolutely trash your team. Waterfall can even be a big damage, and then the priority move, Aqua Jet. I've lost fights because of Brillish. Hypnose gun a lot of damage, and then it comes out and just finishes whatever out. So if you don't have a strategy on it, it can be pretty annoying. So on Fabia, I'm going to have to say, need to think about it. It doesn't cause too many resets, but it'll drag the battle out, honestly. It's definitely number one on this part of the tier list. I've had fights go 5 minutes, and I win, and I fatigue afterwards just because of how bad the double battle goes because of Lilia. Oh, I can't believe they give you such a bad partner. But anyway, time to move on to the Team Rainbow Rocket villains. I'm leaving out all the individual Team Rocket members, since they usually only have one Pokemon and they're a gimmick. So they don't do anything. Never have resets unless No, I've never had resets on any of them. They're on, like if you want to imagine, they're on this should never be a problem area. Alright, Maxi, baby. Alright, let's go through Maxi for a bit. Now, I think he's probably the easiest one out of the villain list. Although, there's a caveat to that. If you're if you've got nothing that can take on the ground, and you're super weak to Earthquake or Flamethrower, that can be, or even Solar Beam, I guess, but Solar Beam's got a massive issue with that one. Can be a bit of an annoyance. The Weezing can drag on the battle with Pain Split if you can't kill it fast. Crobat will just do a lot of damage super fast. Almost always hits you. Camera, rarely a problem. If you got a water type move, you instantly kill it. Ground type moves will do a lot of damage to it. That's about it, right? Otherwise, it's going to do a little bit of damage, but super slow. My Yaoa Intimidate is really annoying. You can't start off the lead. It's got good move diversity, so even though it's weak, if you can't kill in one hit, it can do some damage to you. And especially if you're psychic only, that can be a bit of an irritant. Alright, well, with Gladion, now, what's interesting is this drought, right, which just brings up the sun, but then it's a physical attacker with just one physical move. Earthquake, so if you're a flying type, Ancient Power, which is only got 5 PP of, that, I guess that could be an issue. Probably not. Flamethrower could be a problem. The drought only lasts 5 turns, and if you got another weather setter, you can shut him down. I did that with one of the ice teams. It's now a Bomber, so drought's no longer there. It uses Flamethrower, kills a Bomber, so but the rest of the time it's not got the fire boost, and it's getting chipped by hail, and Blizzard just kills it. But if you don't have a weather setter, if you can last 5 turns, Solar Beam now takes 2 turns. And just go use Solar Beam, well, you've won. If you can survive the earthquakes, it's good too. Gladion's not that scary if you've got a lot of special attacking too, because it's not very specially defensive. So I'm going to put the I don't feel good putting it be okay tier. I feel like it's just ahead of Olivia, but yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I don't feel like you need to think about it too much. Often you can get one reset on him if you're very unlucky, if you're rushed in, not really thought about. You don't have anything good against the ground and you're taking a lot of damage. That can be a bit of a problem. But physical attackers, if you got Intimidate, you can deal with it. Alright, let's go to Archie. Alright, Archie. Now, this is a much more annoying one to fight against. My and Crobat haven't changed, but what's changed is the camera up is replaced by an actually good Pokemon, Sharpedo. It doesn't have a 4 times weakness, 95 base speed, it's pretty fast, rough skin, so if you're a physical attacker, you'll take some damage from that. Liquidation, pretty strong move. Nice slash if you're weak to dark type moves, and then coverage for flying, I guess. Poison really a problem. Mark. Now Mark is annoying if you're a special attacker. So it seems to be able to take even psychics pretty well. And it does a lot of physical damage with Gunk Shot, the punches, so it's got some move diversity. I think it's a bit far harder to deal with than Wheezing, although Wheezing can be annoying with that pain split, especially if it's been toxic with Crobat. Otherwise, Gunk Shot, does a ton of damage, honestly. It can kill Pokemon, and then the other punches just do the coverage. With skill types, it's just going to go Fire Punch, Poison Touch, so chances you get poison from Touch Amp. And then lastly, Kyogre. Kyogre is a much bigger threat than Gladion most of the time. Now, there are some circumstances where Gladion would be a bigger threat, maybe like a Mario Electric team, where it doesn't have good moves against Gladion, then Kyogre would be much easier for that. But otherwise, let's say you're not electric, right? Funga, all those hits in the rain, 5 turns. Hydro Pump, really strong move. If it hits, with the rain boosted damage can literally kill neutral Pokemon. Although the accuracy is only 85, has a chance of missing, and also once Drizzle runs out, it's still strong, but it's not as OP. A Drizzle, man, with Hydro Pump, absolutely kill most a lot of things. Ice Beam for coverage is good. Ancient Power, I guess. But because it's purely a special attacker, pretty deadly, and it's got coverage of the physical attackers here. I'm gonna put Archie on the, because it calls a lot of resets. Usually 1 or 2. I'm gonna say needs to think about. Yeah, I'll say often causes resets. I think it deserves that. I think if you're not good against Archie, it can cause a reset pretty easy, and sometimes it can cause multiple resets. And yeah, so I'll put Archie here. All right, next is Cyrus. Now, again, it's got a Ultra Sun team. It's different, but I play Ultra Moon, so we're going to ignore the Ultra Sun. It's just the difference is it gets Dialga instead. I think Palkia is slightly, harder to deal with, so I kind of like that with Ultra Moon. But you could argue if you're not good against skill types, this could be slightly harder to fight. And the other move, Roar Time's very similar to Spatial Ring. The difference is Surf versus Flash Cannon. I think Surf covers more. So let's talk about the Ultra Moon team. Now, Houndoom, Glass Cannon. If you've got a Rock type, Ground type, Flying type, Water type that can handle its attack, you can often deal with it, no problem. Might be able to get off a Fire Blast on you or a Sludge Bomb, which can cause problems. Next is Honchkrow. I rarely have too much problems with Honchkrow, although I've been caught out with Heat Wave before, or Night Slash, which can be kind of annoying. Sky Attack is kind of hilarious when he uses it, and then you're like, oh, cool, I'll get another turn to hit you. Crobat. Now, this is a physical Crobat, unlike the last two Crobats. So, dealing with this can be a bit annoying if you're not good against poison. S-Scissors caught me off guard a couple times. And Zen Headbutt. So, it's good diversity. Super Fang doesn't have a super effective move against you. So, I don't know, if you're like a poison... no, that's not a good one. Like a skill type. It's just going to go Super Fang on you twice. Weavile, Brick Break, Ice Punch, Night Slash, Glass Cannon, just like Houndoom, super fast. Often gets its attacks, but not a big deal. This is where it becomes a big deal. Palkia. Now, not very easy to take out unless you got a Dragon type or a Fairy type move. It's pretty much got no other weaknesses to it. Yeah, Water Dragon's actually a good combo, to be honest. It does a lot of good special damage too, like Surf, Thunderbolt, Earth Power, and Spatial Ram. So if you're not a Fairy type, this could do tons of damage. Otherwise, it's an okay team. I think I've rarely had too many resets on, but I'm gonna have to say it's better than Fabia. Need to think about it. I'm gonna have to say, have I had to think about it, to be honest, as much? In most runs, not really. I'm going to have to say it's okay. No, you can get a reset on him. I have gotten resets on him. So, it's an okay team. Oh, sorry, wrong team. You know, it can do a bit of damage, but you know, I'm going to say it's okay category. I know that could be controversial. Good team, but he doesn't utilise it properly, honestly. And most of the time, I've not had to think about it. You know, he's good enough where you can get one reset on him, but usually I'm going to him before I go to Lysander. Now Lysander, now that's going to be an interesting one. Let me go to that. Right, Lysander, same thing, Ultra Moon, Ultra Sun. We don't play Ultra Sun, but it would have Xerneas, which is... The best part about Xerneas is Geomancy, but it takes 2 turns to do. And, I don't know, I think I could deal with Xerneas better than I can deal with, Ventil most of the time. Moonblast, Thunderbolt, Side Shock, it's okay. But since we're not talking about that, let's talk about the Ultra Moon one. Now, this Pokemon's annoying. You can't fake it out with Fitness Focus. It loves to fake out you. It loves to use High Jump Kick. If it can't do super effective damage to you, it'll go U-turn into the next Pokemon. So you'll be aware of that. And Jewel Chop the Dragons, which I've been caught off guard a couple times. Kind of a weird move. But yes, if you can't deal with this fast, it can do a lot of damage. Oddly enough, with the Psychic types, you just go Alakazam, you outspeed it, and you can one-shot it with Psychic before it uses U-turn. Next is a Honchkrow. Good movesets, honestly, Dark Pulse, Heat Wave, Shadow Ball, Psychic. Although I think Shadow Ball's kind of overlapping. It's still pretty cool. Can't be Hypnosis. Relatively okay speed. High Roar, Glass Cannon, super fast. Special attacking, which is interesting. Flamethrower, Hyper Voice, loves to use. Rarely ever see it use Snarl. And it loves to use Will, especially for physical attackers. So if it goes faster than you should, often it will. Just Will is all of a sudden your Earthquake doesn't kill it. And then it's going to leave you burnt for the rest of the battle. Gyarados. Very annoying. Starts with Intimidate. So it comes out if you're a physical attacker. Comes out, does Intimidate. Lowers your attack by 1. And then it Mega Evolves. And it has like a Mold Breaker. Mega Evolves. No longer Water Flying. It becomes Water Dark. Meaning that it replaces its 4 times weakness to Electric. And its neutral coverage to Grass to now weakness to Grass. 2 times weakness to Electric. And no longer immune to Ground. And weak to Fighting types. Although immune to Psychic. Pretty hard to deal with sometimes. It's wiped out whole entire teams even before I've gone to your Volta. You Ventil, Earthquake, massive damage, Crunch, Water is going off Scab, very deadly, and it's going edge to deal with especially flying types. I've always had trouble with Gyarados. And then your Ventor, often if the team's weak from dealing with all these, it will finish it off. Luckily, it doesn't have a dark move because the Dark Aura would really make it painful to deal with. But because it doesn't have it, let's ignore the ability. Oblivion Wing, OP move. It deals damage, I think 100 damage it is, and it'll get 75% of its health back. So it's like Leech Life, only better. And it's a flying type, so flying is a very underrated type. But if you get a good flying type move, it goes really well against most types. Most types don't resist it, so it goes really well. Psychic to coverage. I'm not sure why it gets Psychic, but Psychic, gives it a bit more coverage. And Shadow Ball for any of those weak to ghosts, or at least neutral, like a skill type. It's going to use Shadow Ball into his other moves. And with that in mind, I've had massive amounts of trouble with Lysander. I in fact almost had a run lose to it, although I luckily found a strategy to beat it. So far I haven't had any runs into it. I did have one that originally did end to it, but then, as I said, found a strategy to it. That's a Flareon run, by the way. But I know I'm going to have runs in the future that will not be able to pass him. And so that's why he's our first one that can cause runs to be over. Although he hasn't caused one yet to be over. I could see it in the future. I've had so many resets. Bugsy honestly shouldn't have gotten past him. I had something like 20 resets on him. I'll go the Bugsy one with that one. If you go to it, yeah, 18 resets on it. And it was purely because of that one. And Phoebe also had many resets on Lysander. The Flareon, well, you see them in our resets, like 20 resets on that. I'll explain where the other 20 resets come afterwards. But even Silver had problems with him. So yeah, I'm lucky I haven't had ones to fail on it yet. The way to counter it is really good rock types. If you've got really good rock types, you can deal with the whole team. Obviously, this is a bit of a problem. Gyarados is a bit of a problem. But yeah, if you got a rock type for your Vental, then often deal with it. Good, heavily defensive, special defensive Pokemon, then often deal with it. Although they're not dealing with the Gyarados physical attack, so it's kind of a bit of a trade-off, to be honest. Alright, let's go to Ghetsis. Right, Ghetsis. Now, same thing, there's an Ultra Sun one. It's just Zekrom instead with Bolt Strike. So if you're weak to Electric, this is the worst team. If you're weak to Fire, this is the worst team. But because I play mostly Ultra Moon, I don't have much experience with versing the Zekrom version. And to be honest, it's pretty much the exact same. Other than Blue Flare's special attacking and its physical attack slightly higher. But yeah, so let's deal with this. Now, Gothagrigus. Super tanky, very hard to kill, especially physically. Loves to do Will-O-Wisp, loves to do Power Split. Can be very annoying. Shadow Ball's okay. Bad if you're Psychic types or Ghosts. Booflong, super strong, man. That head charge with Reckless can wipe out whole entire Pokemon. Has Earthquake to deal with those rock and skill types. Mega Horn for the Psychic and Poison Jabs for the grass, I guess. Yeah. Well, I guess Mega Horns for grass as well. Bisharp doesn't cause too many issues, although it can be super strong if it gets attack off. Hydreigon. This is a problematic Pokemon. Levitate, great ability. Dragon Pulse, Dark Pulse is often the moves it loves to use. Surf obviously is super effective. Rarely see it use Hyper Voice, although it doesn't usually need to. I guess a Fairy Water like Azumarill is going to use Hyper Voice. But if it doesn't resist, it does a lot of damage with Dragon Pulse or Dark Pulse. And then Reshiram. Now Reshiram is an interesting Pokemon because A, the Blue Flare is 85% accuracy, 90% accuracy. I think that's 90 as well. That's 100, but rarely see it use Dragon Claw. I've had plays where all I have to hope for is a Blue Flare miss and I win. Earthquake often does a lot of damage to it. What else? I guess it resists ice, so Ice doesn't do just neutral damage. Yeah, other dragon moves. It can be okay, but I've won a few fights against him. There's only one where I had multiple resets on. One run. What was that run? One run. I'm pretty sure it was Pretty sure it was Drake. Drake was one that had heaps of resets on him. It was very weird because I rarely have resets on him. Or was it something else I had? I have to go through. I'm pretty sure I do remember having loads of resets on it. Oh, it was Steven. That was the one. I had like 5 or 6 resets on it. I was shocked because Steven had no problems against anyone else. Was getting record time, probably being number 1, honestly. And then it ran into Gestus. So Steven was the one that had heaps of problems. And it's mostly my skill type. But yeah, that was the only one that had heaps of problems with him. So, I think it does cause more resets than how. Often, usually 1 or 2 resets in a run, especially if you're not prepared. You go in there rushing, Dr. Gregor says, Will-Whiz, and all of a sudden that Pokemon isn't going to one-shot anything. And yeah, you're going to have loads of issues with that. Reshiram gets lucky, gets all its, well, I guess not lucky, doesn't get unlucky, hits all its blue flares, wipe out a team like Steven. So yeah, it's caused issues in the past, but yeah, it was interesting with Steven's team that I almost had to give up on. There was another one where I did feel like I was going to lose the run, but I still think Lysander's so much worse. But yeah, that brings us on to our last one, which is Giovanni. Right, Giovanni. I'll briefly talk about Ultra Sun. Again, play with it. I think it's a weaker team, right? Everything else is the exact same. It's just a Mewtwo. Physical, it gets the Mega Stone for Mewtwo X, which makes it a fighting psychic type. But it doesn't get good moves. And the ability is, I think, like a Mold Breaker ability, which means that if you can get like a Will-Whiz off, you've cut down its attack, Intimidate can often come in. And then a lot of these moves are inaccurate, right? Or very weak. Earthquake being the exception. Earthquake's a great physical move. Zen Headbutt is 90 power and 90 accuracy, I'm pretty sure. Or, 80 power, 90 accuracy. So it's like a worse psychic version. Except it's physical attack. Going on the Mewtwo Y. Stone Edge has got 80% accuracy. 100 base rock type move. Honestly, I think Rock Slide would have been better. Or if it didn't have better ability like No Guard, I could deal with it. Drain Punch. I must say, if they gave a Cross Chop, which I don't think Mewtwo can learn Cross Chop, the Cross Chop or maybe Superpower or what's another one? Maybe like Dynamic Punch, but give it the ability No Guard. Well, that would have made this so different. That would have made this such a different battle. But yes, I've never played Ultra Sun, but I'm telling you right now, for most teams, this would be the easier team. This brings us on to the Ultra Moon one, right? So let's talk about each members. Now, got Trio. Super fast, faster, like, I think I already mentioned the Alolan one. This is even faster than the Alolan one. Loves to get Stealth Rocks up or Sandstorm. And Stealth Rocks can destroy your plans if you've got a sturdy Pokemon. And the plan is to have it not get one hit by a particular Pokemon. Earthquake can deal damage, and because it's super fast, it's probably going to hit the Earthquake on you. I've had Alakazam out and it's just gone Earthquake, killed it straight away. Sandstorm isn't so much of a problem for Dugtrio, although it's got Sand Veil, kind of like giving it like a sand attack. It causes Rhyperior to get a special defense bonus, and they'll chip away at you throughout the battle if you're not a ground type. Sucker Punch, I've seen it used a couple times here and there. Good priority move. Let's talk about Rhyperior next, because it loves to send me out next after you kill Dugtrio if it's got Sandstorm up. Rhyperior with the Sandstorm. By the way, that's the wrong ability. It doesn't have Lightning Rod. It's supposed to have, I know this for sure. It's supposed to have, I think Solid Rock is the ability. I know, yeah, I know that for sure. It's Solid Rock, which means power is down to effective moves. And so it pretty much makes like moves like say water only 2 times effective instead of well, not 2 times effective. It makes it 2.5 times effective or 3 times effective. It makes like Ice Beam 1.5 instead. So, yeah, it's an annoying ability. Yeah, so they've made a mistake here on this website. Otherwise, Earthquake super strong, Stone Edge super strong, Mega Horn if it's like Executor, can do a lot of damage, this Pokemon. And if it's got Sandstorm up, it's hard to kill regardless. If it doesn't, special attacking, it's got 130 defense, so really hard to deal with. Next is Nidoking. Kind of average speed. Very hard to kill in one here unless you've got a super effective move and you're quite strong. Otherwise, it's going to get Earthquake up, Poison Jab, Throat Cut, or Aqua Tail, which they're all pretty bad to be honest. Sorry, not bad, bad to deal with. If you're a physical attacker, Poison Point is definitely something that can happen. Nidoqueen. Now, it's a special attacking version. Nidoking. It's got Surf, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Flamethrower, good coverage. I'm saying it loves to use Sludge Wave as neutral. Earth Power. It's a pretty good ability, honestly. Yeah, good alternative to Earthquake. So yeah, okay. Very hard to kill, very tanky, Queen. Probably the hardest one to kill on the team other than Mewtwo. Now the bee's knees is Mewtwo, Mewtwo Y. Now it gets a different ability, it gets Insomnia, so you can't put it to sleep, right? Great move coverage. Ice Beam deals with most Pokemon, other than ones that resist it, which is usually skill types. Or other ice types, I guess, and water types. But yeah, so Ice Beam, really good coverage. Aurora Sphere, great coverage again. Yeah, it gets rid of skill, rock types, the normal types, super effective damage. And then also can never miss. By the way, these are all 100% accuracy. Means you got a chance. You got no chance of dodging this without some sort of ability, move, or well, that's pretty much it. Ability or a move that makes you miss that. Psychic, well, I think most people know Psychic. Really strong special attacking. It's like 90 power, 100 accuracy. Goes off his incredible 170 special attack. And Side Strike, which is like Psychic, only it's slightly stronger and it goes off their defense. So if you are like a Chansey, you use a Side Strike, it's going to kill you. So it's never going to use Aurora Spear, by the way, on a Chansey. It's going to go Side Strike kills. Yeah, so I've had many problems, and it's usually because of Mewtwo. Often I can wipe out this whole team, get to Mewtwo. had massive problems. The only exception to that was Bruno. I think I had massive problems. No. Even once I got through all this, I came here with 2 Pokemon left and died. You know, partly because he got his Stealth Rocks up. So yeah, he's the only one so far that scores 2 runs to be over, Olivia and Bruno. So he causes the Bruno tier. You know, so yes, he definitely gets to be number 1 on this tier list. And yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest. I think, you know, the fact that there is teams that haven't won and how far they get, Giovanni. And I don't see any way of these 2 teams winning. Bruno, I thought maybe if I get luck here and there, but I spent 2 hours 52 minutes on it. Olivia spent less time just because I didn't see a way through it. So yes, Giovanni's definitely number 1. Alright, well thank you for listening to me. I hope it was all good. This is Johnny Plays out. And I will catch you next time for either another solo run or a team's run. Bye now.